Okay, so this is just the lower extremity manual muscle testing. So the first one we're going to go through is external rotation and abduction and hip flexion. So first what I'm going to have you do is just lift up your knee to the ceiling and then turn it like you're putting your shoe on. So you're going to want to place resistance on the knee and the ankle and have them hold it there. Hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, and that's a 5. And we're going to do hip flexion next, and we'll go into side lying in just a minute. So for hip flexion, I'm going to have you bring your knee to your ceiling, I'm going to place resistance on the top, have them hold it there. And good, that's a 5. So now we're going to do the against gravity. No, with
Gravity eliminated.
That's the one. All right, so I'm going to have you lay on your side for me and face the cameras. So we're going to do hip extension first, or flexion. This will be a good video. All right, so you're going to make sure that you have their leg in your hands and ask them to move it. So bring your knee to your chest. Very good. All right, so then for the sartorius one, I'm going to have you lay it on your back. And for this, you're just going to want them to make like a tree pose. So have them put their ankle there. You can kind of give some support as they move it up. And that is gravity eliminated. All right, so the next one we're going to do is knee flexions. I'm going to have you lay it on your stomach. So for this, they're going to kick their foot up to their butt. That shows that they can do it. And then you pull on their distal tibia, have them keep it there. And that's a 5. Oh yeah, and then side lying. So I'm going to have you face the camera again. For knee flexion. Okay, so for this one, you'd want someone to stabilize there. But I'm going to have you rest your leg into mine. And then you just ask them to kick their foot to their butt. And make sure they're moving it and you're not moving it for them. All right, the next one is trunk extension, everyone's favorite. So for this one, you would normally have them laying off the table, but for safety purposes, we're not going to do that. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is the lumbar extension. So you want to put your hands over their lumbar vertebrae and their hands up at their head. And you're just going to ask them to lift their chest off as high as they can. Keep going. And you're just looking to make sure that it locks there. You can relax. And then the next one is your thoracic extension. So you're going to move your hands up a bit. They don't need to put their hands behind their head for this one. And you're just going to lift up just so like the top of your chest is off the table. All right, good. And for that, yeah, you would just be off the table up to about here. Okay. Next one, we'll do cervical extension. So I'm actually going to have your head off the table for this. Lay on your stomach because it's extension. Okay, so for extension, you're just going to ask them to look at your hand in front of them. So just look at my hand, keep it there, and then you just with 2 fingers place resistance on the back of their head, and then just make sure that you're being safe. All right, cervical flexion, so you can just flip over. And for this one, you're going to have them look up. I just say touch my hand with your forehead so that way they don't chin tuck. And then you just press down with 2 fingers, again, making sure you're safe, keeping your hand under their head. And then the last one is trunk flexion. So we're going to start with 5 and work our way down. So for the 5th one, you're going to put your hands behind your head, and I just want you to lift your shoulders off of the table. Perfect. Number 4 would be across the chest and just lift your shoulders off the table. Perfect. Number 3 is hands out to the side. Lift your chest, shoulders off the table. All right. And then, well, that was 3. So 2 is, and you can also lift your knees up a little bit. And then the last one, if they still can't do any of those, you can place your hands here to feel any trace, and then just ask them to do any movement they can. And I think that's all. We're good.